I'm trying to get everything set up on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, what happened?
You were frozen for a minute.
Yeah.
No, he turned around talking about I resetted the internet. For what? All right. Now I gotta get back to myself. I'm frustrated. I'm trying not to yell, y'all. He was about to catch it. Yeah, he was about to catch it. All right, let's just get everything back on point. Let's see, Jerome. I know y'all was wondering what the hell happened. That I got assassinated, didn't you? What's just going on? All right. Part 2 of the debate.
How many we gonna have on tonight?
Just us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just want to let her get what she need to get off her chest.
Sounds good.
I'm running out of people to fight with on Facebook because I've deleted everybody. Whenever one pops up, I'm like, how is there a survivor left on my page?
Actually, don't delete them. Just let them be on there.
That's the thing. I can. It's like, I can't. I don't want them in my circle. I don't want them.
You don't want that.
I give them chances. I do. That girl, Tina, that fought with me the last time, I gave her chances. I sent her links. I said, look, if you want to read this book, we'll discuss it together. But no one wants, she doesn't want to do the work. She's just, when I hear someone reply, it's almost like I just look at it and I'm like, I don't have a chance in hell of helping this girl. The shit that comes out of their mouths sometimes, it's just like, you're so far gone.
All right, Mr. Jerome. I think we on.
That's live. I'm waiting for it to pop up.
Yeah, why is he not popping up?
Yours popping up?
Yep.
You're so far gone.
Yeah, it's good on mine. Go ahead. Yeah, I shared it with you, so go ahead and do your thing, man. Get your words of encouragement before we get into these battlegrounds.
You said words of encouragement.
Yeah, some people got to understand that, though. But go ahead, man.
All right. What's going on, Facebook family? Welcome, everybody. Once again, the three-headed monster is back. The three-headed monster is back on. We have a special guest tonight who we'll let introduce herself. But as always, as we start, everything that we talk about, everything that we say is strictly our opinion. Don't believe anything that we say. Don't believe anything that we tell you. Research it for yourself. Come back. We'll talk. We'll politic. We'll build. And we'll go forward. What's up, Big?
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? Another 1/3 of the Three-Headed Monster podcast. Brother Brian SB, the Silverback. We getting ready to continue this. It's been an interesting couple of days, especially this weekend alone. It's been, it ain't been crazy, but to certain people, it affects their lives. So we gonna get on today, and I'm bringing on Miss Lauren. A friend of mine, former, used to work out with her back in the day at the gym, back in our LA Fitness days. What's going on, Lauren? How you doing?
Oh, nothing much. Happy to be here.
So, I wanted to get Lauren on because she's been voicing her opinions about a lot of different things, and she's been under attack. And for some reason, people are taking Trump. I say fuck that. 45. And
I never say his name. Never.
And they are using that as that's who they are. It's kind of like an alter ego for some people, and you voice your opinion, and people come at you like all of a sudden they have to fight with you, or you know, because I ain't gonna say I lost friends. I lost associates. I haven't lost friends because my friendship shouldn't be. You know, don't worry about your cat. Your cat is good. That's a pretty cat too. Especially got no fur.
You got to scale my blanket. We'll knock it down. The hangers will go flying.
But I just wanted to get your opinions because I wanted you to be on Friday, but you said you had some other things to do, and we was going to talk about the debate. Now it's kind of interesting because after the debate, this Mr. 45 catches COVID. And
Conveniently.
y'all go ahead, man. I don't know what to say. How you feel about this? Because I'm gonna let Lauren get in. I want her to get it in. I want her to be comfortable. I want her to.
Well, I think also I have a different perspective because my job, right? So I'm a nurse. What I do is I specialize in anesthesia. So my job during our outbreaks of COVID was literally to put airways in these patients. So from the very beginning of this pandemic, when I heard that, there was this virus, I took it very, very seriously because I have an underlying health condition called sarcoidosis. So I knew that I had to be careful right away. And my colleagues made fun of me and said, oh, you're being ridiculous. This is just like the flu. But when we came to our peak in Philly, I've never seen anything like I saw in the hospital. I mean, you had nurses that were not ICU nurses taking care of ICU patients. You had patients overflowing and in the hallways, and they made all these extra units. We were using respirators that are meant to only transport patients, and people are on them permanently.
Wow.
Didn't have enough PPE. They made whole units of, we had the ICE truck outside, the morgue truck. And even the garb that we had to put on and off, these people were unlike others because it's they knew what was coming, and they knew when they saw you, they heard all this stuff in the news, the fear that they had and the way that they responded the second that you gave them any sedation so that you could put a breathing tube in. It's they went downhill so fast. And I saw whole families brought in that didn't make it out, and people that have family gatherings. And I work at 4 different places, and one of them was hit pretty hard. The one in the neighborhood that people don't have access to health care. They don't go to the doctor, and they were hit the worst. That's not really surprising, right? So to me, and I know a lot of my colleagues, we had it felt like trauma. It felt like war. So for me, professionally and personally, when I heard and hear people making this mask a debate, and it became a Republican and Democrat thing, because to be honest, I don't know one Democrat that fought wearing a mask. In fact, Philly had the highest number. You?
Go ahead.
Philly had the highest number of compliance for mask wearing, which is kind of funny because Philly usually is am I allowed to curse on this?
You do.
You are.
Okay.
Yeah,
Philly is usually fuck you, we'll do what we want. But we did good. Because of that, our outbreak was very short. I saw it happen because I was in the hospital. So as a frontline person who now I'm worried about getting it myself, about bringing it home to my elderly mother who lives with me. And then you got people out here acting like it's a joke, it's a hoax, it's all this. God, it put a whole new level on it for me. So when I see it, it's not only his non-compliance. From the start, he didn't, do what he was supposed to as a leader. And now this last weekend, and even now getting off, and then he doesn't even have his mask on while he's back in the White House. I can't comprehend this.
This dude is unserious. It's kind of Okay, the reason why I raised my hand because the thing about that, especially with me and Jerome, is nobody never promoted about boosting your immune system.
Right.
Nobody was telling you to do this and do that. It was more of, okay, wear your mask, but it was nothing promoted health-wise on what you can do to strengthen your body.
Other than hand washing, right? So that's number one. That's number one prevention.
But
And that's
see,
all they really cared about.
and that's the part that I had problems with because nobody said, okay, how about you do this? Take some zinc or take some vitamin C or take get some ginger or tell you. And nobody said or drink some elderberry. Nobody said anything holistic on what you can do to strengthen your immune system.
Mhm.
And that's the part about it that I mean I'm big on that. I'm on that.
So then our problem, one of our problems in America is that we have no preventative medicine at all. I mean, that's not our gig, right? Because if we did, then how would the health insurance companies make all this money?
Exactly.
Ooh, glad my wife ain't in here because she's pharmaceutical. And yes,
She knows, then she knows.
Oh boy, that's a debate in the house.
So what you're talking about is prevention. And so not only specific to just this one thing, but about everything that we do in our lives. And I think the other part is that we had no freaking clue. They still don't have a clue. They don't know why. Like, as someone who works in healthcare, we see the flu every season. We see all these other things. We never saw anything transmitted as fast and easily as this. As evidenced by, 45's not out there sticking his tongue in everyone's mouths, and yet when you look at the diagrams of all the people that got it, or that one wedding that they did the mapping for, where like 250 people ended up infected over it starts out with just a small party. They're not swapping spit; they're just in the vicinity of each other, which was downplayed. So I get what you're saying. I wish they did do that. But let's be honest. If someone came out and said, take this, 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 and this, no one would do it.
Right.
A very small minority.
That's not an American way. We don't like to be told. We don't like to be told what we need to do. But for some reason, we are following. I mean, actually, I could say it's like a cult. What we're dealing with right now, because after the debate. For one, I'm not happy with, just like 4 years ago, I'm not happy with the choices that we have.
Right.
So, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you now, I'm not happy with the choices at all. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Bernie Sanders fan.
I also voted for Bernie in both primaries.
I'm not a socialist, but I just understand that I feel like Bernie was really for the people. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of people have their issues. They feel like they need to say what they need to say. But when we was talking earlier, and people say, well, Trump has done this. And actually, people have been on our show, Coach, that, but at the same time, I feel like he's going to get another 4 years. I hate to say it. I mean, I'm not pushing it out there. I'm not even for Trump. I just feel like the way the two factions are clashing with each other, it has nothing to do with the middle class. It has nothing to do with the lower class.
It never does.
The upper echelons fighting each other. Mm-hmm. And we just happen to be pawns in the game. Mm-hmm. We sacrifices. But go ahead, Jerome, because you kind of bit your tongue there. Go ahead.
No, I mean, when you say the upper echelon fighting between each other, I never think they fight with each other. I think it's just more of a positioning. Is it the right time to change the head? No, it's not. They're still making money off of Trump. So Joe Biden serves no purpose for them. I mean, he's a good distraction, something good to talk about, but Trump will be back. Yeah.
Don't look at the look on her face.
I'm moving. I'm not even playing. I already looked into it. I will take probably I can't even talk about the pay cut I have to take to go to Canada, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a nervous breakdown probably. I don't know.
But see,
I see my friends, like my gay friends, and Poor RBG. She tried to hold on. What's gonna happen? We need the house. We need the house.
But what
I
is your
can't
worst
say it
fear?
out loud.
What is your worst fear? To be
With him?
honest.
Oh my God. My worst fear is having to endure another 4 years. Civil war is probably my worst fear.
Oh yeah, that definitely is coming.
I would say that's, if I had to say like my number one, that's what it would be, because he doesn't stand for peace. He doesn't stand for justice. He doesn't stand for all these things that we really need in our country to heal. We have so much work to do. So it'll just postpone it by another 4 years. He'll end up with complete control over the House. I mean, he already has the Supreme Court. I can't even imagine. This is like Hitler all over again. And I know.
You're voicing your opinion. That's good.
I mean, that's just how I feel, because Hitler did the same thing, right? Like he took a group of people that was desperate for change and said, look what I'm going to give you. I mean, people always say, how did all those people go along with this? How did they sacrifice their neighbors, their friends? Like, how did they do this? And this is exactly what's happening, because
fear.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I can say everyone, oftentimes the number one reason people tell me that they voted for him is because of their own money, that he has made them a shit ton of money. And always what I say back is, you made money because you could afford to put money in.
Right.
You have throwaway money, because people that don't have throwaway money didn't make anything.
I didn't make shit.
Right.
That's
I didn't make anything either.
Because I mean, I'm in a good profession, but I'm like, to me, I'm just still trying to find out what has he done, because I bought a house. I took a hit because I bought a damn house.
Yeah.
When you know that you're supposed to get a tax cut, he changed the tax laws.
Yep.
And everybody's like, oh, I got more money. No, you didn't.
I don't.
You just thought you got more money.
Yeah.
Because he said it. I don't take everybody's word for granted and be like, oh, because he said this, he said that.
Yeah.
I never followed a person like that. That's just like to, I'm not, against people who go to the church. I don't follow a pastor word for word of everything that he says. I have to search and I have to find out for myself. And right
that
now,
information, I mean, it's so important.
Our country is under whatever he says is right, no matter what. And everybody's against him. Everybody's against him. But at the same time, look at his past. The dude filed for bankruptcy so many damn times.
And people
how much money?
Great business.
He has everything you do. When his family is against him, that should tell you something.
But
go ahead.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you're fighting against a culture, a mindset. America is like, they're in the hero worship, right? And, that's religious, that's sports, that's whatever you want to look at. So, the president is America's hero, regardless of his background, regardless of whatever. If he's there, that's who represents, most people in their eyes. And so if you create fear, you follow the leader, and whatever the leader says, you do. When she was talking about Hitler earlier, he didn't preach hate about a group. What he preached was nationalism. Love your country. And these are the people that are trying to take things away from you. These are the people that are trying to do this or to do that. And so your pride in your nation caused you to be, ugly towards a group of people. And so I mean, and I totally agree with her in how the propaganda has been spread, in the United States. It's the same way. I mean, if it worked then, it'll work now. People haven't changed.
Let me ask you guys something. I said this to my friend recently, that I love my country just as much as anyone else, but the American flag has a negative connotation for me. And I can't say that I was always like that.
Right.
Because we was conditioned to be that way. I know a lot of people. I was in the military, Air Force.
Mm-hmm. My ex-husband was too, yeah.
Do I pledge allegiance to the flag? No. because that flag has no power. Do I stand for the national anthem? Actually, once I got in the military and understanding what I had to deal with when I was in the military, it's just a song. That flag has majority. This flag is the thing about it is we fight in more countries than we fight in our own country. When the last time we fought in our own country? The Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And was that over a flag or was that over the same thing that we're going through right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing. We're actually, history is kind of about to repeat itself because we're fighting within ourselves. We're fighting to say, oh, it's this person's fault. Now it's either you're Republican or Democrat, and you literally can die just to say you're a Democrat or run a Republican,
Mm-hmm.
which is, strongly Trump. This dude got so much hatred that's going on that when you did a motorcade, because you wanted to get out of the hospital to ride around. What the fuck?
It's
like, dude, you just
Just
put
like you
everybody
think-
in that car at risk
yeah.
because of your ego.
Yep.
Don't let me get it.
And guess what? They were probably proud to do it. They probably had volunteers.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
But I mean, just look at it. I am for equality. I'm for everybody to live amongst each other, be one. I mean, I'm sorry. We in a country that everybody don't have the same opinion, but at the same time, we here. Respect one another. There's no respect no more.
Mm-mm.
If COVID ain't taught you something about yourself, and you had to turn around and you look around and you find out who your true friends are.
Right.
But at the same time, this man, this is crazy. But again, I'm preparing myself, and have I thought about leaving the country? I mean, yeah, I'm moving to the islands. That's already in play. But at the same time, I'm not running from this. I'm not letting this become something that's gonna make me weaker as a person. I just have to stand my ground. So, watching people take this, you have a lot of people that feel like they're 45 right now. They talking on his behalf, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not doing nothing for them. What is he doing for them?
They have no clue.
For who?
Peep.
For 45, the people that we go to these rallies, what is he doing for them? Because he has done nothing. I want somebody to go ahead and put in this comment and tell me what he has done for the people.
The thing is, Brian, like I always ask people, tell me why. Give me some redeeming qualities. I have not met a supporter that can go toe to toe with me, fact for fact, and come with factual information.
You're not going to get it because they don't have no facts to be.
How can they not see this? I'm not sure. This is my hope. My hope for November is that people see, we were tricked real bad the last election, right? Because I think a lot of people were overconfident, and so they didn't vote.
Right.
This time, I'm banking on the minority population in this country. And when I say that, I mean not only the Black people, but also the gay people. I think I think that is a big population that's kind of like, like they didn't show up. They didn't show up the last election. I think they will now. And my boss gave me some statistics about the Black vote. And it will win by a landslide if everyone shows up that's registered.
Right.
That's why they fight against it. That's why
Exactly.
That's why the voter suppression is so big. Then that's what most people got to understand. If they want you to vote, they'll let you vote. Why are they fighting against people to vote? It's a reason behind it, and a lot of people don't pay that no attention. Go ahead, Jerome.
No. I mean, y'all points are extremely relevant. I don't think, when we say we don't understand our power, that's exactly what it is. But we don't have a direction. That's why they keep the Black vote, if you will. That's why they keep it directionless. because every year, it's just they scatter us, they suppress us. There's all these things that happen. If this happens every voting cycle, you got to understand there's a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not, but it's like we don't gather as a collective and have a platform to stand on.
Well, I guess what gets me is you've been in power for 3 years. Why you say if I get reelected, I'm gonna push out this platinum plan for the Black community? Motherfucker, where the hell you been the last 3 years?
Right.
Why you saying something now?
Why wasn't the platinum plan when you first got elected?
Nah, because everybody got to understand this dude is going to jail. He's going to jail because he done did too many shady stuff. And for him he's still downplaying this coronavirus.
Yeah.
I downplay it to a certain extent, but at the same time, I understand. Again, I'm one that tell you to boost your immune system. I am strongly on that. Do I wear my mask like I'm supposed to? No. Do I wear it on my? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm honest. I keep it over my mouth. I ain't gonna say
Sit
that.
back on that one, B.
What is wrong with you? It's not about you. That's what you have to think about. It's not about you. It's about the other people. If you knew you were gonna get grandma sick, would you? Come on, it's a small sacrifice. See, this is the problem. Like Bernie would tell you to wear your mask because he would say it's for the greater good.
I don't listen to Bernie like that. Hey, give me some water.
He would say that because he was greater good for the people.
I'm not. I'm not. It's like this. When I went home to be around my my daughter, because she was about to have my grandbaby, my granddaughter. Yes, I wore my mask because I understanding. When I'm around people, yes. When I'm not around people, I don't really have it on my face like that. When I'm around a gathering of people, yes, I will put it on. So, do I wear it like the minute I get up to walk out my house? Nope. See, but again, you in the healthcare, I'm not. You around, just hearing you say how you've been on the front line and you deal with it. See, that's the aspect I never even seen. So yes, I might change the way I look.
I wish I could have I said that the whole time. I wish I could wear a fucking GoPro so that people could see what this hospital looks like. These nurses exhausted, the respiratory therapists crying because they didn't have enough staff. They had to put two of my people 24 hours a day because I literally would be like putting a breathing tube in one person and they're calling me already for the next one. I didn't even have time to like take off all my stuff and put it back on. The person would be like dead, and all the healthcare workers that have put themselves at risk because it's our job and we didn't really have a choice. But now I got to come home to my family and I could be asymptomatic. And that's the part that gets me the most, is that you could be asymptomatic and give it to people unknowingly.
Right.
I could bring it home to my mom and she has a lot of comorbidities. She's fine. She gets around, but she's a smoker. She has hypertension. These people are the ones that have to worry. It's not about me. It's about, well, I have sarcoidosis, but I'm hardy. I think I would survive, but it's about other people. And that's why I say like Democrat versus Republican in my mind right now. I never felt this way before about Republicans, but I don't know. It's like there's a lack of empathy right now for other people, because I would do anything in the world if someone told me you could save people by doing this. You could save people by wearing your mask. You could save people by wearing this gigantic balloon on your head. And I would do it because if it could save one person.
I need a bubble. That's what I need. I need a bubble. But no, but that's why I don't really be out. It's like I go from here to there. I go home. I go to work. I come home. I'm not out doing what I used to do just because of I want to come home and be with my family.
Yeah.
Because I have my wife who gets tested every week. So if she actually popped with the coronavirus. I got to deal with that.
Yeah. But she'll be fine because she'll act like she's not even sick because she's a woman.
But at the same time, I got to hear it because I'm the one that brought it home because she's working from home. So
now back to your point about, the prevention and boosting your own immune system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't you think a problem with that is, again, socioeconomic? Because have you seen how much money these things are? Like, who has the money to shell out for elderberry and zinc and vitamin C? And I mean, it seems like it would be right, but you're in a good position. I would.
No. But no, actually, this is the funny thing about it. Just because of my wife and she's Caribbean, and I grow my own stuff. So that's a lot of things that I do. I have my herb gardens out there.
That means you have a garden, right?
Yes.
Which means you have grass.
Yes. Yes. What
and
happened
property
is,
of your own.
Yes.
So that's a privilege that you have. That's not happening. Absolutely. Really?
Oh, you gotta say.
Someone down in the city in the projects, what are they gonna do? Have a little thing hanging over on their.
Yes, you are correct. And coronavirus made me grow my own garden. It made me start thinking. So yes, I have lemongrass that I drink every day. I have ginger, tonic. You don't want to go on my thing. But I drink tea every day. That's something that I've been doing for almost 7-8 years. So I drink hot tea, different types of herbs. It's something that I've been doing to my body for a while. So it wasn't something I just started doing just because of Corona.
Yeah.
That regimen was already part of my daily routine.
And that's important to you. So I can understand why you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
But maybe you need to grow more herbs for everyone else because I don't know where I would plant anything.
And I got nothing to say on that. You got me on that one. I got you. Actually, I don't know what to say.
It's just an extra thought,
No, because of my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law got me. They actually got me on the, because when I first started, dating my wife, I was, I catch the flu, I catch this, I catch that. So now if anything happens, I'll call my mother-in-law, or I'll be like, okay, ask mom, what should I do for this? And she'd be like, oh, she got this, or you got this, or she gonna send me this. So what happened is I just happened to adapt it to the fact is, if I grow my own, I don't have to call her. All I have to say is, all right, what in this herb garden I need to take for this? You see what I'm saying? So we're more on a old school regimen on how to deal with stuff. In other words, I don't like to depend on medicine.
No, that's fine.
So I'm more of an herbalist. Is that better?
That is medicine, but
I mean, yeah, but at the same
original.
I'm original with it. So, wow, I don't even know where to go with this because I'm getting smashed because I don't like it. But at the same time, trust me, I catch it. I do. Am I guilty? I admit it. I need to do better. Listening to you makes me really, 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 really want to, pay more attention to it because I might be asthmatic or my body may be, can
You're
fight.
Strong enough. You know what I mean? You're strong enough. You can easily be a carrier. I know so many people that didn't even have any symptoms, yet they had it and they thought they were okay. Oh man, it's just so nuts how fast it gets spread. And I've lost people, I lost a really good friend of mine. I can't talk about it, but when you lose someone, it's different too, I think.
So why do a lot of people attack you? Because of your viewpoints, because I respect your viewpoints. And I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't do is respect other people's view. The way you feel is the way you feel, period. And most people take it upon themselves as, no, I need to say something. I need to put you in check. And I'm wow.
Sometimes, oh God, the things that I've been accused of, obsessed or, people say that a lot. They'll say like, you're obsessed. I'm extremely passionate about the things I believe in. And for the most part, it's civil and human rights. I mean, I'm not arguing with anybody about what they put in their coffee. You know, I want the same for everyone.
Facts.
And that's why I don't understand why people can argue with me, because why do you care? Why do you care if these two men want to get married? Why do you care if they want to raise a baby? I cannot comprehend this. And to use religion as an excuse, which just came up again in the news because that one, these two Supreme Court justices are bringing it back to not to have the 2015 ruling that gay marriages have to be recognized. They want to hear it again. And it was all over this one. I don't even know if she was a pastor. It happened 5 years ago. She refused to marry people, even though it was legal. And I think they went in favor of the couples. However, these conservative judges are now saying, but it goes against her religion. Now that is bullshit, because first of all, there was gay people in the Bible.
Don't talk about religion with me and Jerome, because we ain't religious.
I'm not either. And I'm a little bit anti-religion, if there is such a word or a thing.
You just free-minded.
Yeah, faith in general, this is going to sound really bad, but I feel like sometimes faith is for the weak-minded.
Jerome, jump in, because I know you want to.
Is that bad? I can't believe I just said that out loud.
No.
No, you're fine.
You know, no.
Let it keep flowing, B.
Okay, so I feel like I'm going to get in trouble.
No, because
so
we're not disagreeing with you. We're not disagreeing with you.
I think people in general have a lot of fear, and it's almost like they need to make up something to believe in because they can't face what the actual truth is, right? Like, I'm going to die. I'm going to be buried. So let's make up heaven. Let's make up hell. Fear of doing bad puts you in hell. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people need faith, and I'm not one of those people. I mean, I would say I'm a spiritual person. I don't like the idea of having a God. I most align with Buddhism because I studied multiple religions. I lost my brother. And after I lost him, people would say to me, he's in a better place. But I didn't believe that. I'm like, he might be in a better place because he's not tortured anymore. But do I think he's frolicking with some angels? No, he's dead, you know, like, and I started thinking, like, is there something wrong with me that I don't have an organized religion? And so I started doing research on all different religions and what maybe aligned most with me. And I knew that I didn't want a God. So Buddhism was the best. Do I believe everything they say? Probably not, but that's how I live my life, is, you know, to do good for others. But in general, yeah, I mean, I think people need faith. I think the people that do need faith tend to be a little weaker minded. I don't even know if that's the right word to say.
Well, my opinion on that is I'm spiritual. I believe in the universe. Everybody's connected to the universe in some way, some fashion. Was I Christian? Yes. A lot of people that probably listening to us, because I'm from the South. I'm from South Carolina. That's the Bible Belt. That's, you know, that's either you're Christian, you know, atheist. But when it comes to everybody needs they're treating 45 as a God. They worship him as a God because they for some reason, he's their voice. How can a millionaire be a voice for poor people?
Man,
Unless that's the part that gets me. This dude is not a voice for you. He's never been a voice for you. He uses you, but he's never been a voice for you. And that's the part that's what gets me when people will be riding out for this dude. How is it that you riding out for the dude that's using you? He's just using you. Man, I mean, come on now.
I mean, you can see that all throughout history, though, B.
Yeah.
Poor people will fight for the king. You know, it's because it's something to believe in. That's why I tell you, in America, they teach you heroism. You know, that's why you have to have a Superman, a Wonder Woman, somebody that's above you, somebody that you can look up to, somebody that you can cast your fears, cast your worries, cast your doubts onto, and you never have to deal with anything for yourself. When you talk about religion, religion was absolutely made for that. When it began, there was no heaven and hell. That wasn't even the thing. It was just a God and an adversary. Why did you have an adversary? Because everything that this group of people done to this other group of people, it wasn't really them. You know, it was really the devil. You know, so, you know, could you just, you know, love them and forgive them? Because, you know, they really wouldn't have done that to you if it wasn't for that devil. So, so you got this mindset that's happening for thousands and thousands of years, and some things are just ingrained. You said there's people that you know are completely intelligent and smart people, but they do dumb things. So I mean, you know, you can't explain why people do dumb things, but you can explain that you've been indoctrinated to think a certain way, and that's kind of like when you. Well, I guess we'll get into the whole racism part a little bit later, and we'll get into that. But
you might as well dive into it. I mean,
we'll open it up. But I'm gonna let her speak on. I'm gonna let her speak
on time today. She's showing on time.
But just getting back to what I'm saying, you know, just religion has taught us to not take responsibility for our lives.
Boom. Boom. There it is. You got a lot of love on here. I'm listening. I'm looking at these comments. A lot of people showing love for Lauren because you're a balance. Because the fact is, you for everybody, which I respect. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's the thing. When people started calling me obsessed, I wanted to be like, "Do you know me?" Because, like, the Black Lives Matter. I mean, Black Lives Matter is. I feel like I don't want to use the word novelty, but it's not about the organization. It's about the movement that they represent.
Right.
So that's why when people start arguing with me about like, well, what have they done? And have they done scholarships? And where is their money going? And I don't give a fuck, to be quite honest, because it's not about the group. It's not about them. It's about a movement. And I try and explain that to people. People misconstrue my passion for anger a lot of times, you know, because I do get hype. But I've been doing this for as long as I can remember. I mean, I don't know. My
They're
kids
intimidated by you. That's what it is. They're intimidated by you.
Maybe, and I think maybe they don't understand because I have done things and do things that normal people wouldn't do. For instance, I was a surrogate mother. I decided I want to help someone in a way that I can, and I'm going to let them use my uterus. I did it for a single gay guy in the late 90s. I mean, that wasn't a thing, right? Like, I always had this need to help other people. Maybe that's why I became a nurse. I don't know. I don't really think that's why I became a nurse. But if every single person just gave a tiny bit of themselves to someone else, all you have to do is give a little tiny bit, not carry a pregnancy, but you know, so my goal is to leave a legacy behind. And it's not a big one, but I know even now I can say that I have literally touched hundreds of lives by the stuff I've done, whether it's giving coats out or making these homeless bags. Like I make these, I have it right here too. I make these bags and I keep them in my car and I give them, and everyone that I know pretty much has them too, because I give these bags to other people. Something as simple as that, you never know, because you're one step away from being homeless. You're one step away from being an addict, you know?
That is true.
So I always fight for that's the thing. I get exhausted because I feel like it's a lot of fighting, you know? And I mean that proverbially. Obviously I'm not fist fighting. I mean, I would, but I'm just saying You know, all the causes, you know, I try and hit them all. Instead of giving money to a church, I give money to my favorite charities, you know, from the dogs to the HRC, Planned Parenthood, ACLU. Those are all the ones that I really like to support a lot. And I like to imagine a world where everyone acted like me.
I ain't gonna lie, you're inspiring. I mean, you got me sitting here in my mind, like I'm not doing nothing. And I'm listening
So
to
that's
you.
the thing, right? That's, I feel like as a human, it's almost like our duty, right? We're different than any other mammal. And in my mind, it's empathy, and it's leaving something behind, because otherwise, what's the point of going through this life? You know, what, to procreate, to make a garden,
You've been here before.
right?
That's what I'm saying.
You want, and believe me, like,
I've been here before.
we're no great leaders, right? Like, we have all these great leaders from the past. I'm not going to be that person, but I know for a fact that if I go tomorrow, I know there's hundreds of people that I affected in some way. I know that for a fact, because you know what I mean? And
you
that,
got a family. You have daughters, which, you know, wait a minute, I don't know if you have a son.
I do. He's 26.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. I only know of your daughters.
That's where the
I mean-
grandkids came from, him.
But no, but I mean, but you have a family. Most people would think that you don't, just because of the way you are. But I mean, you know, you raise a family also, and you know, then the aspect of you live your life. And another thing about it, you lost a very important person in your life a couple of weeks ago, which was the Supreme Court justice. And the reason why I say that is, everywhere you went out of, anytime that you traveled, you had the doll with you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is with this doll? But I didn't really understand why. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, actually, it started with Obama. I had a little Obama action figure, and I was like, you know what? He's going to be like Flat Stanley, and I'm going to take him. And one of my best friends that I travel with, I got her a Pope because she's real religious and she loves the Pope. So Obama and the Pope went to Costa Rica, and they had a great time. And we like just took pictures with them, with everyone. And I remember getting on the plane, and the lady like in the front was like, oh, we are safe. We have Obama and the Pope with us. So it started with them, and then I got home and I'm like, you know what, this is dumb. Like, RBG is older. She needs to experience more. I'm not sure when I became obsessed with RBG, but it's not, for me, what I tell people about her that inspires me the most is that she came, it's like all the stars had to align for her to be what she was on the Supreme Court. And it was a mother who told her, be your own person, get an education. I mean, what mom would say that to their kid for that time, right? In the 30s and 40s. Like, what mom would have the forthright to be like, no, be a lady, but you're going to be independent. You're going to get an education. It's like unheard of, right? And then she finds this guy, Marty, who marries her and then puts his own career aside so that he could stay home and cook the dinners and bring her dinner while she's studying for her boards. And a man who was that supportive of his wife, he knew she was going to be something great. Again, not something very popular for its time. So it's like all the stars aligned. And Ruth wasn't always siding with the liberals. She also knew how to play the game. She knew when she had to give them a little, but what she did for women's rights is like unheard of. And so for me, I mean, she is a hero to me, my Shiro, because I am a feminist, you know. And God, I don't know. I think
you went to DC.
I did, yeah. I told my boss the second I found out that I was going to take off from work, and they all know. Like I have all these lockers in all these different hospitals, and they're all covered with the RBG and you know, my other crazy things I have up there. But I don't know. It's funny because like you said, I like most people would think I don't have a family, but I was 16 when I had my son, and my mom made me leave my house, and I was in the gifted program, and I think my mom was devastated because I was always like a really good student, straight A's. And I think for her, it meant like I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't amount to anything. I mean, it wasn't cool in the early 90s. You know, no one's making shows on MTV about that, but I knew that I never wanted to be like her. And she left my dad when he was 5, and she never got a career. She lived with her parents. She could never get ahead. And I thought, that is not going to be me. And so I always worked full time and went to school full time from the time I was 16 until I just got done with my master's like 9 years ago. I was an LPN, then an RN. I just kept going back. And then I get done my master's and I'm like, now what do I do? Because
Be that doctor.
my entire life, I don't want to be a doctor. Being a nurse is better. My entire life, I was so busy doing these things, working full time, going to school full time, and have these babies. It's like I didn't know what to do with myself. And I think that is when I really started to rev things up as far as like being more involved, because I had more time than I had before. You know, if that makes sense. I don't know. And I will never forget where I came from. You know, I still live in my neighborhood that I grew up in. You know, I don't know. I think that's important to stay grounded and know that at any moment, all of that could be taken away. You know, I don't know.
Respect. I appreciate that. Just listening to you, just enough. Just, you know, it's.
I hope so. I hope people get inspired. I hope, you know, when your neighbor's decorations get stolen, you Venmo them money to get them replaced. And, you know, this is the kind of stuff that we need to do for each other.
I don't love my neighbors that much. No.
What?
I don't love my neighbors that much. I'm going to tell you that.
Listen, do it for complete strangers. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Nope.
It's so fun to just
I don't
leave
even like
a random
kids
waitress
trick-or-treating.
$100.
I'm a Scrooge when they trick or treat and I turn my lights off in my house. Only thing you see is the TV.
I'm gonna get through to you. You're gonna be like coming to my next backpack for the homeless.
No, I'm just.
We gotta get you out there doing some stuff. I mean, listen, the podcast is a really great thing. That is something, right? That is you can't take away from that, right? Like that is something that you do. You put your time in. People listen, they watch, and you never know who you're talking to, right? People,
Sure.
like you said yourself, you never comment on my page, because Jerome, when he told me like, oh, I see what goes on your page, I said, well, how come you never come to my defense?
Right.
I mean, I don't need a defense, right? I'm very stubborn about my views, and I'm just like, oh, if you don't like it, then fucking leave my page.
But that what got my attention, because I was like, yo, why they attacking Lauren like that? And I was looking at it like,
Why? I mean, I'm
yeah,
saying
they coming at her hard. Like they acting like you was the Antichrist, and they was literally about to, you know, like you that back in the day, the witch that every day they bring you to the town square and they
Right.
wrap you up and they burn you at the stake. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, no, she's just voicing her opinion.
So yeah, and I just try and stay as calm as I can. I try and stick to the facts, and I don't name call. I try really hard not to do that. Like the guy the other day called me a hoe. I'm like, that's the best you got? A hoe? Or I really like to spell check them. So they will be like, you know, they'll say your and they spell the wrong your, and I'm really good at English. So I'll just be like, I put a little star, like it's actually, and I just leave it alone, you know?
But I mean, at the same time, I mean, you strong with it, because you don't have to have your man to jump in and fight your battles. You fight your own battles, which I respect that as itself, because a lot of people right now, it's a lot of heat for anybody that's, you know, if you stand up for anything, people are trying to mow you down. And
I'm okay with it. Bring it, because I'm on the right side of history. These people don't know.
No, because it was at the time that when it came to, I mean, me and Jerome had talked, and I was like, Jerome, I don't know if I want to do this, because this is a baggage. Because we go deep into some of the stuff that we talk about, especially when we get to the history part that a lot of people don't believe, because they don't learn. This ain't what we was learned in school. I mean, we read, we study. We don't just bring you anything just because this is what we heard. But it took the fact that it was wearing at me.
Yeah.
To the fact is it was bothering me, because, you know, I'm labeled as a racist. I'm labeled as a sexist, and I'm like, I got 3 daughters that I would kill for. And, you know, I mean, I'm about the people. I mean, I might be pro-black, But at the same time, that doesn't make me look at people that's not of my same ethnicity as anything. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to you. Me and you don't work out at the gym before. I still got pictures when we did our workout. So that's the part about me that if you don't know me, don't comment on me if you don't know me, because maybe I don't want you inside my circle. You know what I'm saying? So it bothered me. It did. It take a toll doing this podcast, you know, and I have to have Jerome. I got big brother Jerome that literally picks me up and like, yo, come on, man, let's go. Because it helps me.
Yeah.
Because yes, we do what we do. I mean, it's hard to come up with topics, but I mean,
It is.
because we don't like to be political. We're more history guys. We really get into history and religion. Am I right or wrong? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong though.
All right, you doing fine. Go ahead, B.
So we don't really go political. We don't go.
This is the other girl. I have 2 naked cats.
See, what the hell? You went to China to get them?
No, we're not Chinese.
So we have cussing and nudity on the show.
But just go ahead, Jerome. Go ahead. You got any questions?
You finish your point.
No, because you was talking about you wanted to dive into race. Just go ahead and just get into it. We got like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I want to hear her views.
Me.
Yes, you.
Oh God, stop it. About anything in particular, or about what I like, what people are arguing with me about, or
yeah. What do you feel the climate of America is right now as far as race?
I told you, I mean, Civil War. I don't even know if there's a correlation, to be honest, between 45 supporters and racism, but I see a strong one. It's the same people.
Right.
I live in the northeast of Philadelphia, which is extremely, I feel, racist. You would never think that. I didn't think that growing up because I went to a public school, right? So I went to a public school that was so diverse. And then I went to school in Alany, which, again, the people that were around me were diverse. Whereas the Northeast is very Catholic, and the Catholic schools were not diverse. And I think what happened now, I have no legitimacy to this because I didn't look it up, but Philadelphia cops and firefighters were not allowed to leave the city. And so what they did when they left the areas like Kensington and Alany, they moved as far northeast as they could to give their families a better life, or have a bigger house or a driveway or whatever, a garden with herbs. But they went as far as they could.
I'm in the Northeast.
I know. But you're not Philly. Well, okay. So they can't leave, right? The furthest they could go was Northeast Philly. So now this area ended up being cops and firefighters.
What area is that?
Northeast Mayfair. I would say Parkwood.
I moved out of Mayfair and I'm in Bristol Township.
I'm still in Mayfair. So I think that's how this group of people ended up. Catholic, religion plays a huge role. That's the only thing I can think of, because we still are in Philadelphia, in Mayfair, yet these people are so racist, it's ridiculous. And the whole Blue Lives Matter, don't even get me started on that. So that is a huge thing here in the Northeast, and people cannot understand that Blue Lives Matter in itself is racist.
It's occupation. It's a job. You can quit your job.
So making a comparison between the movement of Black Lives Matter and flipping the switch to make it Blue Lives Matter, no, that's not how it works. They literally cannot understand this concept. And I'm not sure if it has to be ignorance, because I can't believe that they're all like not smart. I don't know how they keep making the correlation. So when I see people supporting Blue Lives Matter, to me, that means racist. And a lot of them are cops' wives. I get it. They're at risk. but they're so
We-
close-minded. They're not able. They are physically, mentally not capable of understanding.
And the thing about it is, we got a bunch of friends that are cops that we are both know, and it's
Can you imagine being a black cop right now?
that's that deep
Can you imagine
in Philly?
in Philly? I cannot imagine what that feels like. I can't.
Maybe we should get our friends on and see what happens. See what they say. If they ever.
I mean,
would.
I think that's a great idea. I don't know if they would be able to. I don't think they would. I don't think they could.
I don't think they would.
I think a lot of them are counting the years so they can retire because it's like one brotherhood against another.
And that's what it is. It's a brotherhood. That's the sad part.
No, it's a fraternity.
They
Fraternal.
cover for each other. Don't even. I can't say, I would never say that I'm anti-cop. I'm definitely not anti-cop. But I feel the same way about them as I feel about the Catholic Church.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yo, that's big. That's big.
And I'm not saying they're molesting little boys. What I'm saying is they've been getting away with a lot for a really long fucking time. And nobody wants to talk about it.
Exactly.
I'm loving this, man, and I hate that she got to go. How much time you got left?
She just called me.
She's like, Mom, come on.
I know. I'll tell her I'll be there at 9:15.
Okay. Actually, once we get off, it's something I need to share with you.
Is it money?
Huh?
Is it money?
Oh, no.
Is it herbs?
I got herbs if you need them. I got what you need. Trust me, I got what you need.
I kill everything. I could never do that.
No, you would.
I did keep basil alive last year. That was pretty significant.
I got
This year, those bugs killed my basil, though.
Which one?
Those Chinese lanternflies.
See?
Do you have them where you are?
Oh, I killed them all.
Do you have a salt gun?
Man, I was out here shooting them with a water hose. That was a fireman out here with it. Yo, I was crazy.
Do you have a salt gun?
Huh?
A salt gun. Have you heard of this?
What do you mean? Salt? Like
Salt, table salt.
No.
Wait, they have these guns and you put salt in it and it kills like flies, but people realize they kill these lantern flies. So we're having like yeah.
Yeah, man, you're welcome. That's something new to me.
Salt
You
gun.
maybe
Well,
was studying
now
it.
that I told you about it, you'll hear about it more because everyone has them. Like everyone at work has them. The one girl that I work with who's all super MAGA, she heard me saying salt and she thought I meant assault. And she was like, "Oh, you have an assault?" I was like, "No. What do you do to protect yourself in Philadelphia?" I'm like, "Nothing."
No, I ain't gonna say that now. I got something to protect me.
I don't. I'm not against guns. I'm not anti-gun at all. I grew up with one in my house. My ex-husband had one. I'm not comfortable with them just because I know myself.
Whoa.
Well,
You say you know yourself.
no, I'm sloppy. I'm clumsy. I would probably shoot myself in the foot. I damn near wouldn't shoot anyone that broke into my house. I would just die, I guess.
Yeah, that person's gonna have to suffer the consequences of the repercussions of stepping in, the Edrington Manor.
Yeah, we ain't got that. The House of Estrogen. We got some cats. I do have like a club.
It's of estrogen.
But I'm scrappy, so who knows? They might have to watch out. I don't know. All right. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about these people. You know what? I read White Fragility, and I got a little bit of crap from my black girlfriends for reading it because it was not a black author. But I'm glad I read it because, number one, I mean, it speaks for itself, right? White Fragility. Fragile as fuck, because the concepts that are in this book are really, a lot of them, hard to swallow.
True. It is deep. It is super deep.
It's concepts that are a little bit like it's like stuff that but it's twisted. Like, they're talking about when your parents are in the hospital and like it just says how you are brought up being a racist. for the most part. And a lot of it is not your fault. It just is what it is. But now it's your job to fix it. You know, like your parents went to a white obstetrician. They had you in a white hospital. When they looked around, it was all white staff. It was, you know, I mean, I was born in Camden, so I can't really say that that was true for me. But
what? No, I didn't see that. Wow, that's
I'm just saying, like in general, it's like all these little things that, all these little nuances that you're like, you know, and it's hard because when you hear the term racist, it means a bad person, right? But it's not necessarily.
It's just a learned behavior. This what you. It's the culture that you brought into.
We've made it mean bad. So to admit that you are racist means you're a bad person, and no one wants to admit that. And I think when you realize that you do have biases, then you're open enough to learn. And number one, people are lazy, so they don't want to take the time to learn because it doesn't affect them, right? The fuck do they care?
Wow.
So that's problem number one, is the laziness, I think, because I have literally bought the book for people. I literally would start a book club and be like, we're going to talk about this. And then they drop off. They don't really want. And I think a lot of that is laziness and privilege.
Exactly.
I even seen, like, I was harassing the orderlies at work. Are you voting? Are you voting? And the one kid looked right at me. He's like, why? My vote doesn't matter. And that goes back to what you're saying, Jerome, is like having, you know, banding together and having leadership and being able to say, yes, you do have a freaking voice. Can you imagine if everyone said we have a voice and we went to the polls? We wouldn't even be questioning whether or not he would be voted in, you know? So I don't know. I for me, it's a frustrating part. It's frustrating to be an ally, right? Because from following Black authors and Black women on Instagram, I learned that it's not allies that you need, right? It's people to be anti-racist, because it's not enough to say, oh, I don't care, I love everyone. It's not enough. You have to be proactive. You have to be willing to dig really deep and look within yourself, and you have to be willing to do the work. And for me, it feels frustrating to be an ally for anyone, because no matter what I do, no matter how much money I donate, no matter how much I support Black businesses, no matter how much I call out my fellow white people, it will never be enough. And that is a hard fucking pill to swallow.
Right.
Wow.
True.
Well, Miss Lauren.
Yay! All right.
I know you got more
I think this was successful. No, I'm only kidding.
Actually, we'll bring you on again because
Oh, you will? I being vetted?
Yeah.
No, because you were able to stand within, you know, you hold your ground, and I respect that. And I could just sit here and listen to you. There's a lot of people that can talk, and I'd be like, man, I just want them to get off. But I do appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you having me because, like you said, I think I can offer different viewpoints as a woman, as a white person, as a nurse, as, you know.
You had to think about it.
Oh my God, I'm so many things. A mom, a grandmom.
Right.
All right, well, go pick your daughter up. I don't want you to be mad at us.
This thing is usually Ubering because I'm like, it's past my bedtime usually.
All right, but we appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate everybody that's on your page. This is the Three-Headed Monster. We are actually on YouTube also, on the Anubius, the Three-Headed Anubius. That's why I said I needed to talk to you about something, because it's something that I saw that I need to share with you. But we'll talk later on that, okay?
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.